Because if we would do a deal like Hamas now suggesting, that means every Israeli on the planet, every Jew, going to be kidnapped tomorrow. If Israel will not stay strong here in terms of leadership and say, no matter what, we're not going to do a deal that is crazy, because if I'm a terror organization, I say, okay, that's the deal. Let's kidnap the Jew or the Israeli, and they will go to their knees, because they don't have the strength as a society. But it's very hard to say it, and you stand here and you meet the families. But the good thing about the MORENO report, we don't take the decision. Those guys are taking the decision. We hope they take the right decision. Qatar and Egypt are on the side of Hamas. Qatar wants Hamas to be existed. He is a big supporter of Hamas. He is a big supporter of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Egyptian, the same. The US, the current administration, is pushing Israel to do the deal. I will talk about the deal in a minute, but not full power like third quad. So it's like Israel against the brokers, more or less. Israel said, we are willing for every hostage alive to release 3 terrorists, not the heavy ones. Heavy ones meaning heavy RK terrorists that are sentenced for 500 years here in the prison. And we will do a ceasefire. For that time, we will increase the humanitarian aid. Hamas, on the other hand, is saying, no, we want the war to be stopped immediately. We want the army to withdraw from Gaza out, and we want all the terrorists, more or less, including the Nukhba terrorists, that the same terrorists that came on October 7 and raped and beheaded and do everything that we already talked about.
Would you call that a battalion or a unit? It's a unit.
It's a unit. It's category. It's like the elite unit of Hamas.
Special forces of Hamas.
Yeah.
They won't release. So just to kind of zoom out.
But let me finish.
Of course.
This is very important. Meaning, Hamas wants Israel to take the white flag and say we lost. Now we are on the hostage square, okay? And I'm telling you, the majority of Israelis are not accepting that. Even 40, 50 families from the hostage families are not accepting that. They say no matter what, we don't stop the war. Now, there is a thing in Israel, some will say only we can release the hostage if we do a deal. The others will say no, by increasing the military pressure. Like the army is going in, will bring Hamas to his knees, and then he will be willing to release the hostage. Now the problem is that we have Hamas as Satan. No country, by the way, ever faced this kind of situation.
Never. You know, as an American, we have like a rule: we do not negotiate with terrorists. And so, you know, when Hamas kicked off what they called the Al-Aqsa Flood, Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, and flooded the kibbutzim, the Gaza envelope, the kibbutzim, raped, murdered, looted, and then kidnapped. You have to ask yourself, what interest does Hamas have in kidnapping Israeli civilians or even foreigners who are in Israel? Because now they have all of these other governments to reckon with. There was a precedent in the past that I want to ask you about, because Israeli intelligence, as they interrogated Hamas fighters who were either captured or surrendered, they said, well, Hamas told us that if we took an Israeli back into Gaza, they would give us an apartment and $10,000 US. So of course, that's why they took babies. That's why they took elderly people, because they were easy to kidnap and easy to carry. This is wicked and evil. You don't negotiate with this kind of thing. So I understand that, you know, we're talking about Israel's 2 stated goals: to completely destroy Hamas, to make sure this never happens again, and to get everybody back home, because Israel has a value of getting everybody back home. So I want to ask you about the Gilad Shalit deal. What year was this?
Almost 10 years ago.
So who is Gilad Shalit?
Gilad Shalit was tank soldier, was kidnapped 2000, I don't remember, 8, 9, something 8.
And he was in
Gaza for like 5 years. And in the end of the negotiation to release him, Israel released 1,200 terrorists.
Including
Yahya Sinwar, which is the current Hamas leader, which is the brain and the mind behind what happened.
So Sinwar was in prison in Israel, had brain cancer. The Israelis gave him surgery, healed him of brain cancer, released him in the negotiation deal to get Gilad Shalit back. Thank God he was alive when he came home. And then Sinwar thought, whoa, hey, now I know how the Israelis operate. So if we just plunder Israelis,
and then we release
Gaza,
everyone,
we can empty out all of the terrorists that are in Israeli prisons now, because the Israelis will bring them to their knees. So Israel said, no, we're going to bring you to your knees and we're going to get everybody back home. And now it's beginning to feel like, can we do both of those things at the same time?
It's a problem. Now, but I'm telling you guys, that's my opinion, my personal opinion. If Israel will not stay strong here in terms of leadership and say, no matter what, we're not going to do a deal that is crazy. Because if we would do a deal like Hamas now suggesting, that means every Israeli on the planet, every Jew, going to be kidnapped tomorrow. Because if I'm a terror organization, I say, okay, that's the deal. Let's kidnap the Jew or the Israeli, and they will go to their knees.
Right.
Because they don't have the strength as a society. But it's very hard to say it, and you stand here and you meet the families. But the good thing about the MORENO report, we don't take the decision. Those guys are taking the decision. We hope they take the right decision.